What's up, guys? Today I'm going to give you a complete step-by-step guide for burning fat on the ketogenic diet, including exactly what to eat and how much of it to eat for your particular body. Don't worry, you're not going to have to eat 6 small meals a day, only breakfast, lunch, and dinner like a normal person, because I'm sure that you're very busy. I'll show you meal by meal what to eat for you to be able to start shredding pounds of fat today with no additional information necessary. So let's get in the kitchen and get started. For breakfast, I'm going to have 4 slices of bacon, 4 whole eggs. I'm going to add some fresh chives to enhance the flavor. And for my vegetable, I'm going to have about a fist of spinach. Exactly how you're going to customize it for yourself, I'm going to explain in a second. For lunch, we're making burgers. We're going to start with 80-20 ground beef. That would be ideal. But remember that the ketogenic diet is all about being high in fat. We want almost 70 to 75% of our diet coming from fat. So that's why we're looking for the 80% lean. And since we're not allowed too many carbs, we're going to have it with portobello buns. Then I got my cheese. I'm going to use 2 slices. And again, I'm going to tell you exactly how much you can use in a second. I'm going to have 1 slice of tomato and a slice of onion. And that's going to go on my burger. And then for my veggies in that meal, I'm going to have about a fist worth of asparagus. And when this breaks up, because you're going to want to break these ends off, it's going to come out to about a fist. With my asparagus, I'm going to add some olive oil on there to add some flavor. And I'm also going to add some Parmesan cheese. So that's going to be additional fats for the ketogenic diet. And then for dinner, we're going to have chicken wings. I'm going to have 6 of these chicken wings. And I'm going to make mashed cauliflower. I would normally use only half a head of cauliflower because they do have carbs. When we're on ketogenic, we want to keep the carbs low. But this is such a small head, it's like the size of my fist, so this is going to be considered my half a head of cauliflower. And I'm going to add butter and salt to that to turn it into mashed cauliflower. It'll taste just like mashed potatoes. It's delicious. And also, I'm going to be adding hot sauce to the wings to make them taste better and to give them flavor. As far as my seasonings, I'll be using olive oil cooking spray. I'll also be using salt, Bamberger seasoning for the burger, parsley flakes, chicken seasoning for the wings, some minced garlic, Parmesan cheese, and black pepper. That's all you need. Alright, so let me tell you now exactly how you're going to calculate the amount of calories, the amount of fats, carbs. I'm sure you're wondering exactly how this is going to work for you. So I'm going to show you exactly how that's done right on my computer. Okay, so you're going to start by using the macro calculator available on our website, and I'll include a link below in the description. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in my stats. Now, the really cool thing about this calculator is that the activity level that most of these calorie calculators are set to, they highly overestimate the amount of calories you can eat. This one I personally made. I know that this one, the calculations it gives you are perfect for fat loss. So I actually don't know my body fat, let's say 12%. And then we're looking for fat loss. We're going to click the fat loss button right here. And we're just going to click calculate. Obviously input your own attributes. So up top you'll see your maintenance calories, 2,993 per day. Now that's not the number you want to go for. You'll also see moderate fat loss, which is about like a pound a week. Then fast fat loss, that's like 2 pounds a week. I'm going to go with fast fat loss. So you're going to take this number right here, 2,320 calories. I actually already have done ketogenic dieting for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to drop this a little lower because my fat loss is slowing down a little bit. So I'm going to drop it by roughly 100. I'm starting off with 2,230 calories. And what we're going for is 70% fat, 25% protein, and 5% carbs. So 70% of 2,230 is 1,561 calories. 25% of 2,230 is 557. 5% of this number is 112. Now, as far as calculating your macros, we're going to divide the fats by 9, we're going to divide the protein by 4, and we're going to divide the carbs by 4. And that gives us these macros. So 173 grams of fat, 139 grams of protein, and 28 grams of carbs. Again, just plug your numbers in. And this right here is the diet that I came up with. So I know that I'm starting off with 173 grams of fat, 139 protein, 28 carbs. For breakfast, I'm going to have 4 whole eggs, which is 16 grams of fat, 24 grams of protein, 1 large avocado, 21 grams of fat, 3 grams of protein, 12 grams of carbs, 4 slices of bacon, 13 grams of fat, 12 grams of protein, 1 fist of spinach, which we're really not going to count as anything because that's mostly there just for vitamins and minerals, and the macros in there are pretty much negligible. The total for breakfast is going to be 50 grams of fat and 39 grams of protein. Then for lunch, we got 6 ounces of ground beef. We want to get 80-20, so the higher the fat, the better for ketogenic. We got 2 slices of cheddar cheese, 18 grams of fat, 14 grams of protein, 2 portobello mushroom buns, again negligible, 1 slice of tomato and red onion, negligible, 1 fist of asparagus, pretty much negligible. 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 14 more grams of fat, and also 3 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. So that's 4 grams of fat and 6 grams of protein. And we're gonna add that into the asparagus. The total for lunch is 66 grams of fat and 48 grams of protein. Then for dinner, we have 6 chicken wings, which is about 36 grams of fat and 48 grams of protein. Half a head of cauliflower, which is about 1 gram of fat, believe it or not, 5 grams of protein and 15 grams of carbs. 1.5 tablespoons of grass-fed butter. We're gonna add that into the head of cauliflower that we're gonna mash up. That's gonna be 18 grams of fat. And then we got a total of 55 grams of fat for dinner, 53 grams of protein. So my totals at the end were 171 grams of fat, 140 grams of protein, and 27 grams of carbs. So you always want to start first with the things that are going to take the longest to cook. The stuff that's going to take the longest is the stuff that we have to boil and the stuff that we have to cook in the oven. What we do with the cauliflower, pop off this part, and then you take your head of cauliflower and you throw it right into a pot of water, and you're going to set that pot of water to boil. Next, I'm going to want to pull out a baking sheet. I'm going to lightly coat the pan with some olive oil cooking spray. For this meal, I get 6 wings, so I'm just going to pull the wings right out of here. These are wingettes. There we go. So there are my 6 wings. Now to add some flavor, I'm going to throw on some kickin' chicken seasoning. And then I'm also going to add some red hot wing sauce. This stuff is spicy, so don't go too crazy. And then I'm just going to mix that all together. These are ready to go. We're gonna set our oven to 400 degrees. Next up, we're gonna grab 2 baking sheets, and I'm gonna grab my washed asparagus. I'm gonna crack it right where it cracks easily. Like, I shouldn't have to put a lot of pressure. And I was aiming for about a fist, and that's gonna be about a fist right there. And I also wanna add 1 tablespoon of olive oil. So there we go, we got about a tablespoon there. And 3 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. And lastly, I wanna add some garlic. Mix it together. And then with the mushrooms, we don't want to necessarily wash them. We just want to wipe them off because there will be some dirt. So once you have it wiped off, we're going to spray each side lightly with some olive oil cooking spray. And then we're going to put it face up right into our baking dish. Cool, so we could throw these 2 in the oven now. And actually, it looks like my oven is pretty much preheated now, so I could throw everything in there. So we got the asparagus, we got the chicken for dinner. That asparagus was for lunch. And then we got the mushroom caps. Our cauliflower is already boiling, so we just want to wait until that's really soft so we can mash it. So let it boil for a little bit. The other thing that's going to take a little while to cook are my eggs and my avocado. And you guys might be thinking, wait, how does that take so long? Well, it's because I'm actually going to be oven baking the egg and the avocado together with 2 of them. The other 2, I'm going to put it on the pan and use the bacon oil because, again, ketogenic is all about having a lot of fats. I'm going to grab another baking pan, lightly spray it with some olive oil, then I'm going to cut my avocado in half, going around in a circle around the core. And then I'm just going to twist and open, and there we go. So then I just got to pop the seed out, and then the skin should come off pretty easily from here. So just peel the skin off. Now I want to take one of these eggs, and these are free-range eggs. These eggs are a very good source of high-quality, inexpensive protein. So crack the egg, and then we're going to pour it into our avocado. We're going to sprinkle on some parsley flakes, a little bit of black pepper, some salt, and we're also going to throw on some chives. Cool, so throw this right in the oven. And it's been about 10 minutes since I put my portobello mushrooms in here, so I want to pull them out real quick because I'm going to want to flip them after 10 minutes and let them cook for another 5. So I'm just going to flip these guys. And don't worry, they get really black. You probably didn't burn them. That's just what happens when you cook them. Now that we got the stuff that takes forever to cook out of the way, we can move on to the stuff on the frying pan. So for breakfast, we're having the bacon. I'm allowed 4 slices of bacon for breakfast. Cool, so I'm going to take my 4 slices of bacon and I'm going to throw them right on the pan. I'm going to let that cook, and then I'm going to use the grease from the bacon to cook my eggs. Again, I can't say this enough, ketogenic is very high in fat. And that right there was the 5 minutes that I needed for the mushrooms to be done. So I can pull that out now. So these, as you can see, they are done. They are nice and soft and ready to go. You're going to make great burger buns. While all that's cooking, I'm going to get started on my burger. Okay, so this says that it's got 16 ounces, so it's got a pound. We want 6 ounces for this meal, so I'm going to want a little less than half, somewhere around here. That's about a little less than half right there. So this is about 6 ounces. This is for the lazy people that don't feel like measuring, which is me. I'm going to season it with the Bam Burger seasoning. Remember, don't be afraid of seasoning. Throw that right on in there, and then I'm just going to mix it all together and shape it into a patty. So there we go, shaped into a burger, flatten it out a little. Good, ready to go. And now we're going to throw that onto the burner, and our bacon definitely needs to be flipped at this point. Now I have a Foreman grill, but I purposely chose to cook it in the frying pan because that's going to gather up the oil. All done with the bacon, so I can just throw that onto a plate for now. And I'm going to use that oil to cook my other 2 eggs and my spinach. But before I do that, I'm going to check on my oven because I think a lot of this stuff is done. Chicken wings are definitely done. They look great. Asparagus is done. The avocado can use a little bit more cooking. So we're going to leave that in there for a little longer. I'm going to plate these 2. And remember, these are 2 different meals. The wings are for dinner, and the asparagus is for lunch. So we got breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Our burger looks like it's ready to flip. And we can cover that for a bit to make sure that it cooks all the way through. And then I'm going to go back to cooking the eggs now. So I got my 2 eggs. And then I want a fist of spinach, so that's going to be about half this bag. And then I am just going to mix this all together. So this is done. It can be plated now. Looks good. Let me check my oven. I think that meal is totally done. Looks like these guys are all done. So I'm just going to take that out. So 2 avocados right there. And then the rest of my leftover egg. It looks like both my burger and the cauliflower is almost done. So I'm just going to coat it with 2 slices of cheese. Top it off with that. Cover it up. Let it melt on there. And I could turn off the burner and pull the cauliflower off and drain it. So just strain it with a strainer and just leave it in there to drain. Okay, so that's done right there. We could turn that off. So we got our cauliflower here now. We're just gonna throw it back into that same pot that we're using to cook it in after we drain it. And then we're gonna use a masher to mash this down. Now we wanna add 1.5 tablespoons of the Kerrygold pure Irish butter. As you can see right here, it indicates exactly how much you should have. So it's about a little less than 2 tablespoons right about here. Okay, cool, so you can add that in. I like to add a little bit of garlic as well. Cool. And also I like to add a little bit of black pepper and a little bit of salt. Cool, so I'm just gonna mix this all together and then I'm gonna add that to my dinner. And believe it or not, guys, this tastes a lot like potatoes. The last thing I wanna do now is cut a slice of onion for my burger. I'm actually gonna heat it up a little bit. While that heats up, I'm gonna prep my burger buns. Throw this juicy burger right on there. Wow, this thing is juicy. I'm gonna get a slice of tomato, a little bit of spinach, and I'm gonna top it off with my onion. And there you have it, guys. These are my 3 meals. So we got breakfast, we got the 2 eggs, the 2 whole eggs that are just cooked, mixed in with the spinach. Also the 2 whole eggs that are cooked into the avocado. We got 2 fists of spinach. We also got 4 slices of bacon. This meal has a total of 50 grams of fat and 39 grams of protein. And virtually no carbs because the spinach pretty much doesn't even count as carbs. It's so little in carbs, which is exactly what we want for our ketogenic meal. For lunch, we have our burger, and this burger, I'm telling you, it's going to be delicious. We have our burger with the asparagus, 2 slices of cheddar cheese in there for the fats, 2 of the portobello mushroom buns, some spinach, a slice of tomato, a slice of red onion, and then we have the asparagus, which is going to have the Parmesan cheese for the fat and also the olive oil. This meal totals at 66 grams of fat and 48 grams of protein. And then for the last meal, we have dinner, so last but not least, and we have the 6 chicken wings, which is going to be quite a lot of fat and protein. Also, we got the head of cauliflower, half a head of cauliflower. We turn it into mashed cauliflower, and the cauliflower has 1.5 tablespoons of grass-fed butter in it. The totals for this meal, we got 55 grams of fat, 53 grams of protein, and believe it or not, the cauliflower has close to 15 grams of carbs. So between these 2, the avocado and the cauliflower, I'm getting the carbs that I need. We want to try to keep our carbs under 30 when we're doing ketogenic diets. And that's it, guys. Obviously, you would want to portion out these meals into containers so they're ready to go for you for the day. So you can cook multiple servings of this. Just multiply the total amount by the amount of days that you're cooking for. So if you're cooking for 3 days, you're going to multiply by 3. Alright guys, so if you follow the same steps I did, you'll be able to make your own keto diet plan from scratch. If you enjoyed this video and you feel like it helped you out, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel. It really helps motivate me to make more videos like this, and that ultimately helps more people. Also, if you want a done-for-you diet plan in which you don't have to track calories, head on over to our website, gravitytransformation.com, and try the Fat Loss Kickstarter. We'll give you a meal plan that's customized based on your weight and your goals, And this format has been the same structure used on my clients in my 2 gyms here in New Jersey. And they're losing 20 pounds or 5% body fat in just 6 weeks. If you don't believe it, check it out. Visit our website, gravitytransformation.com. I'll see you guys soon.
Pump it.